This weekend, on the recommendation of my Greek teacher, we decided to explore a new place in the Peloponnese. So after waking up early on Saturday morning, we headed to Trikala and Mount Kyllini to walk around the mountain lake and, if we got lucky, see wild horses. After a chilly, rainy April and an unusually cold start of May, the weather has finally improved and warm days have arrived. May is simply gorgeous in Greece. Everything is in bloom. It's not too hot yet, but already warm enough for nature trips and mountain hikes. It's the perfect time for visiting archaeological sites as well as lakes, waterfalls, and other natural attractions. From Corinth, where we live, Trikala is only about 60 kilometers away. You can either take part of the route via the highway or drive along the coast through Lechio, Vrahati, Kiato, and Xylokastro. There are many towns along the way, but these are probably the most popular and lively ones. As usual, we stopped in Kiato to grab our morning coffee from our favorite bakery and say hello to the local geese. The morning was still cloudy. From there, we continued to Xylokastro and then headed south, climbing higher into the mountains toward Limni Dasiou, or Lake Dasiou. Along the way, we passed several charming villages. Mount Kyllini is the second highest mountain in the Peloponnese after Mount Aegetus, and according to mythology, it is believed to be the birthplace of Hermes. There are actually 3 villages on the slopes of the mountain that share the name Trikala: Kato Trikala, Messiah Trikala, and Ano Trikala, Lower, Middle, and Upper Trikala. We drove through the first 2 and stopped in Ano Trikala to walk around the quiet, sleepy village. We didn't meet anyone except for 2 adorable cats. Then we came across a magical little square and a huge, beautiful building that had clearly been abandoned for years, surrounded by giant pine trees covered in ivy and moss. If there are any locals from the village or nearby areas who know the history of this building, please share it in the comments. I'd love to learn more. Since there was absolutely nobody around and nothing disturbed the morning silence except the birds singing in the trees and the sound of the river, the atmosphere felt almost surreal, like we had wandered into an enchanted town. After exploring Trikala, we continued toward the lake. It's another 20-minute drive further into the mountains. The scenery here is incredibly peaceful and beautiful. The mountain peaks are still covered in snow. Insanely beautiful. Dasiou can be reached by a dirt road only. The lake itself isn't turquoise and it's fairly small, but it has a very special atmosphere, and it is a place where wild horses live. There is also a hiking trail around the lake with some stunning views. We managed to walk a little closer to the horses. They are cautious around people, but not too afraid. After spending some time by the lake, we tried driving higher into the mountains, but the road definitely wasn't made for a sedan. So after a few kilometers, we left the car behind and continued on foot. Our destination was Spileoermi, or the Cave of Hermes. According to mythology, this is where the god Hermes was born. The trail to the cave is incredibly scenic, though not very easy to follow, since the old signs have long since fallen apart and have been replaced by ribbons tied to trees. Still, we eventually made it there. The cave supposedly has 8 chambers filled with impressive stalactites and stalagmites, but that's information borrowed from Google, since we're neither speleologists nor experienced cavers. We mostly just enjoyed the mountain views around it. Still, according to Google Maps reviews, the cave is interesting to explore if you have proper equipment, and at the same time, it's not too difficult, making it suitable even for beginners. On our way back, we spotted even more wild horses. After spending the day surrounded by all this natural beauty, we drove back down to the coast, reached Xilokostro and headed home. By the way, Xilokostro is a really lovely town. One of its most distinctive features is the large pine park stretching along most of the coastline. If you're ever in the area, don't miss the chance to spend a day at the beach here, or maybe even stay for a couple of days, since there are plenty of beautiful places nearby worth exploring.